we're not live yet.
Sounds good.
Oh, I think we might be live.
Are we now live?
It looks like it.
Ah, there we are.
Yeah. Welcome. Take it away, Shannon.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Welcome everybody to a absolutely fantastic and exciting newsflash hot takes weekend decadent look at the the new Flesh Eater Courts stuff, which is really cool. For those of you that are really excited, no, we did not get a leaked version of the book. This is hot takes and responses to the community article from today, which is probably one of the most information packed community articles that I have seen for a new book in a long time. Especially if you know how to read between the lines. There is a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, and there's a lot going on for Flesh Eater Courts with this one. Um, uh, I mean, everyone who's watching this channel has probably watched this channel. If you're new to the channel and you're just joining in, I'm Shannon, longtime Feck player. It's my favorite army, big Feck enthusiast here. Um, uh, yes, Flesh Eater Courts, that's my jam. Joined here with Thomas. Thomas, multiple golden ticket winner, competitive Warhammer player, well-known tryhard, bringing only the best, highest tier lists to everything. Offering our hot takes here on that article and kind of stuff that came up.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I've played against Feck almost as much as any other army because, right, Shannon with Shannon as a co-host, it's there's a lot of craziness and it's always dead guys. Uh,
Yeah.
so well, why don't we dive into it? I've scrolled down and I brought up the first part here. Uh, do you have the article up on your side?
Oh, you know I do. I've
Okay,
got
so
two different monitors of it with the same thing. I don't know why.
all right, well, I'm on the part with in every turn if you don't have the stream synced up.
In every turn. Yeah. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, for sure. So fun little aside on all this. We just had a tournament here in Colorado. We had the Mile High Open. Awesome tournament put on by Collector Mania. And at it, people were talking about, hey, Flesh Eater Courts is coming out. What do you think's going to happen? And I brought up the concept of, hey, the way they've been wording some of this stuff, I think we're in for some real big changes, some heavy changes to the battle traits. And one of the people I was talking with, another Flesh Eater Courts player, he was like, well, they can't get rid of noble deed points. That's like the whole jam of the army. It's what it's all about. But he joined in with third edition, right? Like there was a time before, and I guess there will be a time after noble deed points. But we'll get to that in a bit. They touch on it in the article. So the first big thing they're talking about here is the delusions, right? And we have a taste of that right now with Usharan. He currently lets you, as long as he's on the board, you get to pick one of his delusions every hero phase. Prior to Usharan having that rule attached to him, at the launch of the third edition book, right before fourth edition, so for a sweet total of 3 months, we had our delusions as something that you added in with your army list, right? And then Ush let you kind of change it up. Now it's tied to Usharan as far as a board-wide rule, and then if he dies, it goes away. But they're bringing it in as a new battle trait for the Flesh Eater Courts, and it's really becoming kind of the battle trait for Feck, which is a huge pivot, right? They talk about the other battle traits in here. I don't think that they specifically call them out as battle traits, but I think mechanically it's the way it has to work, and it keeps them from having to copy paste, put a bunch of things on a war scroll. So it's looking like battle traits are going to be delusion and some sort of fancy name for it. So how you pick your delusions, how the delusions work, they go over most of that in this article. Like we have probably 75 to 80% of the information on delusions in this community article, which again is huge, right? That's absolutely massive. Um, and then your other battle traits are looking like it is summon, loyal subjects or whatever it is, muster the guard, and feeding frenzy. And I think that those will be our 4 battle traits um, going off of this. So I'll read it through again, see if I can think of anything else.
Well, I think the
Um,
big one is the
mhm.
death of noble deeds, which I personally,
Yeah,
I, when that first came out, it was great. It was thematic. Now that we're deep into it, I'm not sure I'm in love with the system as much. Right? There's a lot of rolling, and they
yep,
struggle to keep it balanced. Either the Feck player cannot get enough noble deeds, or the Feck player is drowning in noble deeds and they can use those abilities too much, or the abilities aren't good enough. Like right now, it doesn't really matter. You've got enough noble deeds because there's like a have and have nots, the courtiers, and the abhorrents.
hmm hmm
Yeah, sometimes you have the right ones, sometimes you don't have the right ones, sometimes they're near the person you need, yada yada yada. And then there's no limit to the number of times you can bring back units in the same turn. It's
right,
cool, it's fun. It's not it doesn't really line up with the current game design, and you can feel it, in the hands of a good player. Um,
hmm
and then in the hands of a less experienced player, it's a lot like second edition Corn, where you're like, a ballet dancer trying to dance on the head of a pin. If you do anything
right,
wrong, it all kind of falls apart. Well,
yep,
the next part is the dice rolling. You want to talk about this dice rolling mechanic?
yeah. Oh, as far as like with the delusions go,
Yeah, the new one, this new
yeah,
mechanic, because it's
for sure.
huge.
It is really big, and it's something that I'm not super keen on, especially now having seen Core 90K. But we should talk. I should read the thing first so everyone knows what we're talking about instead of it just being us rambling. So you've got your delusions, right? There are two that come built into Flesh Eater Courts, and then every abhorrent included in your army gives you another option for a delusion, so long as they are alive. So you've started the game, your first round, you choose it, and I believe it's the ooh start of any turn. Ooh.
Does
So it is the
does
start
it
of every
change?
turn.
Every turn it
It
changes?
eh, it doesn't have to. That's the problem, right? And that's so this is where we're getting it's no longer about skill, it's a little bit about skill expression, right? You got to either be very adaptable, you got to build something to be able to help you with this. But again, I need to just read the stupid thing so we can talk about it because we keep diving in and realizing things as we read it. Um, so your delusion, you got a army wide rule that is going to affect your army. You do it once per turn, start of any turn, right? So it's going to be every turn you're doing this thing. You must use this ability at the start of each turn. So 10 times a game, you're using this ability. If it's the first turn of the battle, you get to pick your delusion. So you've got your two that are base, any of the ones that you then build into your list by bringing in abhorrence in your list building. Um, and then you can pick it for war scroll as a friendly unit on the battlefield. So you will still get the delusion even if the guy dies during that turn, as far as I'm reading. But once they die, you can't pick that delusion anymore. If it's not the first turn, you make a roll of d6. So on a 1 to 2, you must pick a different delusion. So this is going to force you to have at least sort of two that you wanted to go between, but you might have more, right? But on a 1 to 2, you have to pick a new one. On a 3 to 4, you must pick the same delusion, even if it was on the war scroll of a unit that has been destroyed, which is interesting, right? Like there is a world and a chance in which you just have the same delusion the entire game, and there's nothing your opponent can do to stop it, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And then on a
Right,
5 to 6, you pick one like you did the first turn, which means it can be any, which means it could still be the same, right?
right,
So breaking that down, on a 1 to 2, it's got to be a different one. You've got at least two that come with your army. So even if they table all your characters right away in the game, you've got these two that you're feathering back and forth between. Um, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to build yourself options of the ones you want to be able to jump in between. You don't want to make it so that you've only got the one you really want to use and you're forced into something you don't like. That is going to be a little bit of your skill expression there in list building. There's not a lot you can do once you're past that phase. On your 3 to 4, you're stuck into what you had. So, boy, a lot of these delusions that are coming up are pretty darn situational, and I could see that 3 to 4 almost being a bigger issue than getting to 1 to 2. getting locked into something and not having that choice.
Agreed.
And then 5 to 6, do whatever you want, right? Like pick the same one or pick a different one. It's up to you. Go nuts.
Right.
Uh, from a player skill aspect, Thomas, where do you think this fits? Because I think Fleshy Courts, as they are right now, is a very high skill cap army. There's tons of ranges. There's the noble deed points going on. There's no single piece except maybe Usharon where you can like push it up the board and be like, watch this thing have fun and smash.
Right. The Morbid Knights are the staple, and it's because they're so techy and fast. I'd say this rule on first blush, and do not quote me in a month after this comes out, and this is all just like the best shit in the game. Um,
You know we're putting this on the internet right
yeah,
now,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Well, all I'm saying is that it is just a hot take, right? Hot take
100,
is
oh,
that
100%.
this is bad because it is the bad moon, right? Your for them, their allegiance ability would just like be anywhere and they couldn't control it. This isn't as bad, I don't think, because you do get to like
Ooh,
start with the moon on the table, aka you can pick
right.
a delusion and then like
Mhm.
have it. But then all of a sudden, let's say, like without knowing what all the delusions are, maybe they're completely unbalanced, and so there's one guy you just want that one on all the time. Uh,
Mhm.
but aside from that, if you actually do want to like be techy and interesting and make choices, it's tough
Sure.
because you're locked behind a dice roll. And while I know that everything bad that happens to Feck makes my win rate go up. I don't want that for my Feck friends.
Sure.
Um,
So I would say that this system, obviously it's a really interesting comparison to Corn IDK and current Gits, right? Like it's a similar idea and a different take on it. IDK has got these two trees they build up, they jump back and forth. Corn's got just like a standard skill tree, like an RPG that you're building as you earn. And then the Gits have a wheel to go around. But IDK always has the choice. There's no randomness in IDK. That is
right.
this is the path I want to take, this is the decision I want to make. Corn has the choice, but they have to earn it. So it's a little bit more like, well, actually, quite frankly, Corn is now going to be the last army with an army currency.
Yeah.
Because I think it was Corn and Flesh Eater Courts, and now Effect doesn't have a currency, quote unquote, like a game currency anymore. So it'll be Corn. And Gits, yes, there is a randomness to it, but there's an order in which it goes, and I can think of at least what there's 3 ways that Gits can affect it if they don't like it. I think they've got a spell, which is an unlimited spell, so they can keep trying that. And again, that's a spell cast and an unbind, and like that's more random dice to help your random thing be less random. And then what? Skregrot? Does he affect the moon? I think.
Skagrot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of Skagrot, we've got Usharon, who's like gigantic cooler Skagrot, and just like Skagrot, he's got a little bit of manipulation of your allegiance ability, which is a nice little segue there because while my hot take with low information is that I don't like it, there's all you need is like a couple reroll mechanics, and
Mhm.
Usharon is not required because his ability just lets you add one to the rolls. Uh,
I said add one or change it by one.
is it change it by one?
I think it's change it by one.
Let's see. Uh,
Let's see here. One True King. That's his delusion. And then where do they talk about what he does here?
but
Um,
either way, it says it right there. Yeah, change the result by one either
yeah,
way. So, do you
yeah,
have good delusions? Obscure answer, 100%. You're gonna have good delusions. Right
yeah.
now, the base ones are setting run rolls to a minimum of 4, which is great if you have a run and charge, which you currently do
Which
now. Who knows what you'll
yeah,
have? But
we
run and
currently
charge
have 2 sources
yeah,
of it
run and
right now.
charge is a it just feels like effect mechanic, so I'd be
Yeah.
disappointed
Hmm.
if it's not there. The other one is adding one to hit rolls for all units that charge this turn. The other thing that I could see them doing is making like a once per game. You can pick two things to be active on a turn, and all of a sudden
Sure.
you're running minimum 4, you run in charge, you're +1 to hit on the charge, like, that
Mhm.
that starts to sound pretty scary.
It's
So,
not too bad. And there's a lot of things they have that they can play with that because we're going to see an entire new rack of battle formations because two of them right now, I think, have to do with noble deed points. So those have to be replaced. So
right,
there could be, like you said, like a battle formation that lets you, you can maybe pick two delusions on rounds 1, 3, and 5, or who knows. Jumping back to Usharon real quick and modifying that by one, just for thinking about like hot take, is this good? So that means that a 1 and a 6 are unmodifiable, but sixes do whatever you want, right? So on 4, 5, 6, it's do whatever you want. On a 1, it's you're stuck. And then on a 2 or 3, it is do you want to stay the same or do you want to change? And a 4 will be do whatever you want or do you want to change? Or
right.
sorry, or you're stuck. So with Usharon, it
That
is
all
kind
play.
of you can kind of do whatever you want unless you roll a 1. Like essentially you get IDK unless you roll a 1.
Yeah.
Uh, which is
I
not bad.
I
That's not
also
bad.
I also like that it changes every turn, right?
Hmm.
Personally, because if you can get a big turn, like if you can do a big like I charge in, let's say that you've got the big one where maybe you can do two of these or not. This is completely speculation.
Yeah,
Um, the you then on your next turn, you flip back to anti-charge on Usharon or whatever else you have, right? It's pretty
sure.
spicy.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking at the other ones that we know of, and this is again, we've got no idea what battle formation is going to be like or anything, but we've got the two that you said already. We've got Ushes, which is adding +1 to run rolls and charge rolls, subtracting 1 from run rolls and charge rolls for enemies. Fairly spicy. That's pretty good, right?
Minus one to
Um,
charge is massive.
-1 charge is massive, and melee weapons of friendly surf units have anti-charge 1 rend while wholly within friendly territory and did not charge. Obviously, that is like 5 different flaming circus hoops to get through to like have a lot of it work. It's got to be a surf, so you're only looking at beast slayers, ghouls, crypt guard. I think that's it. Um,
Well, you got a bang
but
low to some of those guys, so
Oh, for sure, right? Like if you're rocking the two giant blocks of ghouls that are now suddenly rend 2 and maybe striking first with Dirty Bone, like depending on your battle plan, if there's a lot of friendly territory, if it's a board half, the new that Usharon Dirty Bone Ghoul Death Star is looking real scary again. Real scary again. Um
I
so that's another. Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say I just do hope that they get rid of the strike first, honestly, because it opens up more design space because they're not like having to increase points or tamp down other
Sure.
things. Just as a high level, I'm not a fan of all the strike first I'm seeing in the game. Every time I take it, it just feels very strong.
Sure.
Anyway, that's just a hot take.
No,
KO. I'm
yeah.
looking at you.
Super fair. And I would love to see a world in which there is a better option for the second effect from the Marrow Score Herald, right? Because
Right,
he has a second effect that no one in their right mind ever uses. I used it once in a tournament and it was hilarious, but no one in their right mind ever uses it.
right,
And having that be something more applicable, like just flat out making it on that 3+, you offer this unit, the deal and make it now they become like a center of delusion or whatever, and friends nearby have a chance of failing commands. I don't know. But the problem is as his current rule, either you can debuff something or you can kill it. And it's better to just get rid of it than to try to cripple it for the rest of the game. Because getting rid of it's the ultimate crippling it for the rest of the game.
right.
Um, so we've got another one here, another delusion. This you went over the glorious banquet already. Add 1
Yeah.
to hit if they charged. But it's also they have to be wholly within 12 inches of a Flesh Eater Court's hero. So you've got another thing that's going to increase that
Skill expression.
skill expression. Thank you, skill expression a little bit higher because Feck has got a lot of very fragile heroes. If it's not Usharon, so charging them in on the front line and again, like you said, especially with so much strikes first stuff out there, can get a little risky. So now you're having to play this bubble game of I move this guy up enough, and my charge has to end with them in that 12-inch range of my guy. That's going to be some skill expression, right? Like
Yep.
that's something that you're going to have to learn to play around. We've got the new Falconer guy here. Something this article does confirm is that he is an abhorrent. There was talk about, hey, is he going to be an abhorrent or is he going to be a courtier? He's got the physiology of an abhorrent. I assumed he would be an abhorrent. This confirms that he is one. He's got an interesting delusion, not because of what it does, but because of the text on it. So his delusion is enemy units that are in combat with serfs, non-hero monsters, and beast units subtract 10 from their control score. First off, that's not to a minimum of 1. So you could.
Core rules minimum
Core
of
rules
1.
are. Core rules are minimum of 1. Okay, good, delightful. The thing that's interesting about it, because right now no one cares about control score because you just kill everything. The thing that's interesting is I don't believe Flesh Eater Courts have anything with the beast keyword.
Yep, I've got it highlighted on the stream right now. I've also
Yeah,
keyed in. I was like, I know Feck's roster. I don't own a single Feck model. I
right,
know that roster. There's no
right.
beasts. So my time to hot take, right?
Hot take it.
Hot take. I think some
Yeah,
of your big units are going to get the beast keyword.
like what?
I don't know. You're maybe the horrors. Uh, it's like,
Ooh,
you know what I mean? They're big and mindless or something like that. They're like, it's like they took it away from the stupid Skull Reapers and Corn because they were
right.
just so like crazed with blood madness.
Uh-huh.
They'd have to kill something to lose the that beast style keyword. Maybe
Yep,
maybe you're saddled with something like that. The nice side is that maybe they'll give you something back. Or there's a bunch of stuff that interacts with Beast. It would be cool to see them play around with Beast as a keyword a little bit more, where sure you've got this low control score, but if you can just drop everyone else's to like 1, and you're in the
right.
mud with the beasts, and then all you need is just more beasts units on the objective, then it doesn't matter if you're 1, if it's
Sure.
ultimately just counting the number of people on the objective. And then if your heroes are worth like 5, uh, all of a sudden you just get like you make each other worth 1, and then you get a hero on the back. I don't just
Right.
hot takes, right?
It's
Just
good.
interesting ways
No.
you can play with that.
All right. Hot take off that hot take though. That would deeply change the way that horrors are played because instead of them being a like wound soak wall that stands there and you recur, now they've only got a control score of 1. So unless you're taking them with knockoff Robin Hood here, you probably are wanting to run them more as like little 3-packs of little darts that are just doing damage as opposed to a big thing that just sits there and you try to invest in holding an objective or holding a line with.
To be fair, that
That's
sounds
interesting.
more like your style anyway, just like
It would
dealing
be fun
damage.
for sure.
Dealing
Uh,
damage.
the other possibility is if they turn the Royal Beast Flayers into beasts and give everyone the monkey delusion, and now the whole
Mm.
unit could all have serfs and beasts. The other one is, can you double up on it? Can you be beasts and infantry? Because you can be infantry and hero, and you can be, XYZ. Could you add that so that essentially it's just making it so that different things that affect beasts, like you said, get these little buffs, but you also can be counted as infantry for some things that need to target infantry. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Because the control 1 thing is not tied to the core rule beast. It's actually on every beast war scroll. So they could give you beast and they could just not put that on there.
Oh,
And all of a sudden your beasts are just like infantry, except they can't be targeted by like Leviathan charges and all that stuff. I don't think it's
ooh,
gonna go that far, but
right? They
uh
could.
that it's
They could open that design space
yes, they could.
for sure.
So
Next illusion that we know about, like just continue to jump through this because we talked about jump between them. You're building a list designed around it. Obviously, you got to pay for these characters to get them. We've got Judge Fudge here, right? We've got Grand Justice Gormain, who has
Judge
always
Fudge?
been. You heard me. So Grand Justice Gormain. Uh, First off, I think it's very apparent they printed way too many of these models and are struggling to sell them because he has now appeared in the 4th kit box to buy him. like
I
as a
mean,
group.
he's probably my favorite Feck model.
He's great, but there's no reason to ever own more than one of them because he's a named character.
Yep.
He's not included in any regiments of renown, I don't think, or anything like that. So there's no reason for a non-Feck player to get him. Besides, he's awesome, and you should paint him because he's cool.
Hmm.
And he currently is not great, but the delusion he's adding in, add 1 to the damage characteristic of melee weapons used by friendly serfs and knights. So we're talking about basically everything here besides monsters and heroes. While they're wholly within 12 inches of any friendly Flesh Eater Courts heroes that have had any damage points allocated them to the same turn. Hot take, this is pretty darn good.
I don't know if that's hot.
No, no, no. So, and the reason why I say that's a hot take is because the downside to it is one of your heroes has got to be up there getting hurt, right? Which means you got to throw your heroes in that are presumably giving you delusions, giving out maybe still the rend to your ghouls and your horrors. Like you still got to keep them alive. You're putting pretty much guys that are 6 wounds and a 5 up, 6 up. Like they're very very dainty in harm's way. And you have to wait for them to get hit. So your opponent gets to choose whether or not they activate this, right?
Right.
Unless you miscast, stick your finger in a socket and roll a 1 on a place of power. Like, if there are other ways in which we can hurt ourselves, then this can be a really fun and a really fun lore thematic way. You know, the king stubs his toe, the judge blames the enemy, and everyone goes bananas and shrieks and runs at him, right? Like, that's fun in my brain. What
Right.
you think this is also super good?
I mean, I think there's some hoops to jump through. But
Mm-hmm.
I think when I see Justice Gourmet hit the table, I'm going to be killing anything but a hero. I'm
Sure.
going to be terrified of touching heroes.
So, do you run Gormain and a like guy on Terrorgeist and just
that's a
say, "Do you
yeah.
want to touch my Terrorgeist or no?" Because that's up to you. Because these ghouls now become, 40 models, 2 damage each, 3 attacks each. Have fun.
Theoretically, Rend one. I mean, that's very close to Witch Elf, Mind Razor
Sure.
style damage. So yeah,
Yeah.
very scary.
That's
Anti-covering fire tech. Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, ooh,
yeah.
ooh. Good call.
Turn
Who
on
shouted
the.
that out?
That was Kevin. Kevin called us out on that one.
Kevin. Heck yeah, that's nice. Good thought. Good take there.
Yeah, turn it on and then just put a big hero that's not going to get killed by it, and then you know,
Yeah.
flood the guys up.
Ooh,
Good call.
hey, another hot take with that. Does the Maelstrom still have the chance to hurt yourself?
Sure
Like, does
does.
that affect all you?
Yep.
Yeah, put that out by a Terrorgeist. So something that can take the damage.
Right.
Ooh. I think hey, that's some fun stuff to play with.
Yep.
Other ones that we know about. So we know the Cardinal has got something that helps the congregation weather the effects of magic and extinguish enemy manifestations. Assumedly either a spell ignore or a bonus ward save, right? Like that's we've been seeing that a lot. KO's got it. I feel like a lot of armies have got some version of that, right? Like you can build an anti-magic aura kind of guy,
Hmm.
um, which is super cool. And to have that army wide sounds pretty strong, which is cool. Oh, another thing on noble deed points dropping. There's no more cardinal tax. He's no longer an auto include that you kind of have to pay for your army to function.
I'm sure
Uh,
GW will find a new must include.
for sure. Oh, also with noble deeds going away, the chair has got to totally change. We don't know what the chair is going to do anymore.
I
It might
hope
go back. Yeah,
I hope that the chair will do something about ranges of if the person sitting there, you use their delusion, increase the range of the Holy Within by 6, or
that'd be cool.
let that person, manipulate the die roll. I think there's a lot of good things they could do with the chair. The other fun thing would be is that the chair has its own delusion that you have to be in the chair to use.
Ooh, hey, that'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
I my hot take is gonna be it's a lukewarm take actually, which is they go back, they recycle ideas, and they do what the chair used to do, which is you don't have to pay that CP to bring back the unit if you got a guy sitting in there.
Seems real. Seems too
Yeah,
real.
right. Seems real and boring.
All right.
Next one that we know about: Abhorrent Ghoul King on a Royal Zombie Dragon. Knights and monsters to perform thunderous charges. That to me sounds like either a reroll, which they're trying to get rid of, or a 3d6 charge on knights and monsters if you've got him going. What do you think?
I was gonna guess bad D3 damage on the charge.
I mean, Warbegs already have that. Maybe they take it away, and then you've got this instead.
I mean, I've got big
But
feelings about Morbegs. Certainly, like this would also give it to all your big guys, right? Because
it
you could
gives the
be
horrors and the
you give the
flayers. Yeah.
horrors and the flares, like
Hmm.
yeah. Um, but you're right.
Could
Three
be
d
could be
six would
good
be another good one, right? That
for
seems
sure.
specky.
Yep. Yeah. Again, just get you in there for combat. This one I don't like. Nagash shows up. You take Nagash in the army, and then Nagash doesn't get any of the rules.
Yeah,
Uh,
feels bad, man.
that's so dumb, right? Like, what's the point of bringing him in if he
Why
doesn't get to play?
why does OBR get to have Nagash with the rules? How about this?
Yeah.
They better make him a lot cheaper in FEC.
There you go.
You just
100%.
make him cheaper, and then it's fine that he's just an 8 cast wizard.
Right? Absolutely, absolutely insane. So in talking on delusions and kind of wrapping up what was all like obviously stated on there, but what is still remaining, you've still got the Gore Warden, the Abhorrent Ghoul King on foot, the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, which I gotta think that his delusion is all about damage, right? Um, I think that might be everybody. I think those are our three remaining abhorrents, unless I'm like bad.
You,
Oh, and the Arc Regent, So you got four more possible delusions, assuming the chair doesn't have one, or your battle formations don't just give you a third base delusion to play with. Which I kind of hope that's not just what the formations are.
right. You only need so many ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think most lists we're seeing right now, you're rocking between 2 and 3 abhorrents. So you're looking then at between 4 and 5 delusions to be able to pick from as you build your list. Which again, really fun skill expression and really fun way to be able to tailor your list to what you want to do with FEC given rules. A very big shout out that does need to be said, unless it is tied, in my mind, to the Arc Regent. Defenders of the Realm is gone off of Oosh, because that's not his delusion, which was kind of the one of the biggest reasons why you took Usheron, right? It was for the big range on Feeding Frenzy, and then to try to give all your guys with a 6-up or a 5-up save, +1 save, to make them more survivable.
+1 to
If
run
that
and
is
charge, I'd say is another big one.
+1 to run and chart, yes, is absolutely up there. But we have that for sure.
Still got it. Still
Def-
got it.
Defenders of the Realm might be gone, and
Right.
I think that's going to be massive for the Fleshier Courts, um, in a not great way. Uh, anything else on delusions as far as a hot take? Anything that you can pull out of this article and kind of wrap your brain around?
Not without just like making stuff up at that point. Like
Sure,
there's
sure.
there's a lot of information in here, and I've already had some hot takes. So nothing on that. Then there is. What do you think about the change to summoning, going back
For
in
sure.
time?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, spend a command point. The big thing is going to come down to whether or not it is a end of phase your turn, end of phase every turn, or movement phase your turn, movement phase every turn. Right? Those are going to be your options for when they come in. They're not going to let you do it in the hero phase, and then try to do some shenanigans or something, because that's when people find ways around the rules and we get problems. It'll be in the movement phase of the end of turn. I can almost guarantee. Is it you got 5 chances at it, or is it you have 10 chances at it? That's my question.
It is. Let's see here. I think I just saw it.
Yep.
Once per turn, just as turn. Now
Right.
this is just war context, so you can't read this with like a
Exactly.
lawyer's eye. But if you
Yep.
were to believe that this was somebody just reading the rule and writing it, then you'd say
Yep.
that it would be each player's turn. My hot take is your turn only.
Sure. Yep. And I kind of agree with that. So if you've only got 5 chances for it, I think that it is considerably weaker. Excuse me, and that's going to hurt Feck. Reason being, if even assuming you go second on turn one, if you've already lost a whole unit, especially if this is the movement phase, not the end of turn, you're probably not. You're hopefully not losing a whole unit, right? Sometimes bad things happen, and your opponent charges across the board. You fail all your armor saves for your horrors, and the whole unit dies. But that generally doesn't happen on turn one.
Right.
So that means that you're now down to just 4 times. If you are go first and your opponent doesn't kill something in turn one, you probably also have missed it on turn two. So you've now got 3 options to bring back guys. Super, super weak, like really debuffed. That being said, IDK can do it every turn for a command point, right? Like
Oh,
GW is not above. No, GW is not above doing it. What is written there, you can't tell. There's a comma in there, and it comes down to whether or not that's a division of 2 sentences or a continuation off of a first sentence, right? It could be anything.
it says for a command point, you can summon loyal subjects to summon a half strength unit from the battlefield edge.
Yep.
If they so let's look at what they've done in other armies. It's a command point
Mhm.
for IDK, and you can do it
Right.
every turn. It's a
Yep.
command point
And it's end of turn, which is also important
end of
because
turn.
it gives you a whole turn for something to die versus movement phase, which only gives you a hero phase for something to die.
Yep. Old Soul Blight was a command point, and you could do it in each player's turn, right?
Hmm.
If I
Yep.
recall. They changed it to be free when they made it once a turn. And then Skaven have to pay a command point, and it's only once per turn. Well, their
Hmm.
turn. But they're old and their book is doo doo. So uh,
What's Nurgle's
uh,
with
it's
Slimex?
for Slimex, each one is only in your hero phase. Same thing with Slaanesh, but it's free. You're just
Okay.
rolling on a war
Ah,
scroll. So you're all just rolling on a war. The cost is that you take a unit, you get the recursion.
right.
Slimex is it's a little bit easier because you're just getting back Beasts and Nurgle, who are still a little bit too expensive. Um, so
Sure.
I could see with the command point cost that this could be both players' turn, which should feel a little bit more
Mhm.
fecky based on the past
Yeah.
stuff. Even if it
Yep.
was just once in your turn, you can still
Yep.
muster guard to return bodies to serfs. Once per turn, your nobles can also still muster body, bring stuff back. So there's going to be some sort of rule there, and I
Yep.
bet you're still going to be able to bring stuff back in a powerful way, even if it's just not the same. Um,
Right.
and so maybe that you only bring back units 4 times a game or whatever, but
Hmm.
they can counterbalance that with things like how you return bodies. Right? Just because it's not good in the same way doesn't mean it's not banging.
Sure.
Look at our friends over in KO land who are now looking down the gun with some big nerfs because they were all
Hmm.
worried like, oh, I can no longer do the redeploy shenanigans, like everything's bad. Like if you actually just
Right.
crunch the numbers on what that army does, it's like this is ridiculous.
Mhm.
They
I
adding that, yeah, you can just get +1 damage to a 2 damage unit on the charge, just like Skyfares, and all of a sudden,
right.
it does not matter that you're only bringing back half or a quarter as many models because you're killing all their stuff.
That's actually you make a really good point. If I only bring back half my unit, but I double its damage, I did the same thing. Doesn't matter, right?
Right.
Mathematically, my unit's still the same.
And
Uh,
honestly, if you did more damage while before you brought it back the first time, that's more efficient, right?
right. Sure. Yeah. I will say, like, as a hot take, I think Muster Guard is weaker, only because it is now once per turn.
Right.
So that player skill expression, you could Muster Guard, kind of, you know, split that the way you needed to, save your points the way you needed to. With it being just that once per turn, it'll be interesting. I don't think that they're going to give you like D6 models back. You're probably looking at D3. Maybe it's D6 on serfs, D3 on knights.
I could see
Like
that.
maybe, yeah, that could be it. Which could be really powerful, could be bad. If it's bad D3 or bad D6, it's garbage. Like that's hot take. Then it's a super nerf. If you
Yeah,
get a one in three chance if it fails,
you can't have a failure on that roll, I don't think. I mean, you
right?
can, but it'd be like I agree, it'd be
Yeah.
terrible.
Yep. And then as far as the summoning goes, if it's every turn, I think we're looking. It might still be a little bit of a nerf, just because you can only bring so many units in a list, and you can only have so many die. Right? Like that's going to cap what it is, and it's just going to be the fact that now you got to space it out over time. Versus if you got a pop off turn with Feck before, you could have brought in 3 things from all different sides of the board and just mess stuff up. So I think regardless, that's going to be a little bit of a nerf. Is that really going to hurt the army? No. I think it
Right.
will make things feel not so bad for the opponent. Like poor Stephen in my game, I had one turn of I just brought 3 units back from around the board, just from every angle, and it just was rough.
It's the one thing that they really needed to change. I think even more than like figuring out how to make more big knights not do it all is get the recursion under control. Like you're talking about bringing back models to multiple units on at the same time. I don't know the last time I saw somebody, including yourself or Wyatt or whoever, try and use model recursion on more than one unit in the same turn. It just never happened in my games.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
so for me, I'm not shocked about that. It's the bringing back whole units multiple
Yeah.
times in the same turn. I see that all the time. And maybe it's because I like whittle down my feck little feck friends and then punch them out all at the same time. And so
Mhm.
then they're just like 14 Barneys come in from my back, like the Simpsons meme, Barney's coming in through they just threw you out and he's behind. There's like they're all just back.
Right.
Um, so I think that gives your opponent a better play experience, as long as the army is balanced around the fact that you can't do that anymore.
For sure. For jumping into the last of our, it looks like this is going to be a battle trait now, Royal Blood,
Yep.
which is fine, right? Saves a little bit of space off of War Scrolls. But the question is now, do horrors lose it, or are they going to give it to all knights to play their keyword bingo now that it's a battle trait versus being on a War Scroll? I guess you could just write
Mm.
something on horror saying they also benefit from this battle trait. Like that's possible, right? Um,
Or
but is
it's
there
a
a
sub
change with that?
faction, right? Sub
Yeah,
faction,
sure.
all knights gain access to it. The problem is that like why would I not just do it on Morbegs? Maybe it'd be all knights without fly. Anyway, yeah, it's
Yeah. The biggest change though, well, maybe not the biggest change. This whole book's completely rewritten. The whole army is going to be completely new. Feeding Frenzy is now going to be in its 4th iteration of existence, which is now a once per battle ability. A hero can make the call. They have to be in combat themselves, and it does X. We don't know what that is.
based on current rules writing trends. My
Yeah,
guess is fight first.
you're probably right.
I hate it.
Uh,
I do not. I hate that.
what if it's fight twice with strike last? That could also be based on current rules. That also is a pretty popular thing they're doing.
I think that is better because it
Okay.
gives your opponent a chance to play
Hmm.
before you pick up all the toys.
Boy,
Um,
if that is the case, Ghoul Patrol, twin activation ghouls with the Judge's Delusion up, with a Terrorgeist or some wounded
oh,
character next to it, fighting twice with that's something like 380 attacks or something stupid,
it, it
damage 2.
it would be such a waste because after the first attack, nothing's alive.
Nothing's alive, right?
Right? You've killed
That's true.
everything in a 24-inch bubble. Like the damage is so big that everyone is
Yeah.
pulled into the mad nadir of your feeding frenzy activation.
Oh, could be gorgeous. Could be gorgeous. Well, yeah, we'll see what Feeding Frenzy becomes now. Um, Especially with a different ability to get extra attacks. Maybe, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it strikes first. Maybe it's double fight with the strikes last. Um, who knows?
Right?
Yeah. Final hot take.
Okay.
Probably not even that hot of a take. Honestly, just a fact. Flesh Eater Court's dice, best dice they've released all edition for an army,
We're
hands down.
talking Sub-Zero take there. The
Yeah,
deepness of
not
Space
hot at
Sig,
all.
not hot. That
Yeah,
is by far. I
so
hate
good.
their dice. I saw that and I messaged you. I was like,
Yeah,
those are some
right.
good
You're like,
dice.
ooh, ooh, look at them dice. Super good, super good. Oh, fantastic! I'm excited to see what else comes out with it. It's a really fascinating time, especially getting ready to prep. We're both going to Flying Monkey.
Yep.
I'm trying to prep for that tournament. I have no idea what my rules are going to be, what models I want to use. So I guess I just paint everything and practice moving around blocks and hope. But it's a fun and exciting time to be a FEC player.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, I everyone who's watching or watching this in the future and checking to see if we guessed anything or we were right on any hot takes. I hope that you are having a great time with Flesh Eater Courts. If you're interested in joining the army, this is a great time to do it, right? They got some fun starter boxes coming out. They'll have a couple of spearheads now available. And it's really looking like this might be the army in Age of Sigmar for the Burger Kings out there, right? Have it your way. Build it the way you want to have it by putting in the abhorrence you want to put in and run it the way you want to run it. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. All
Whew.
right. The end. Thanks